Hey, this is the first video I'm making on chess, and it is what the pieces can do and how many points they're worth. So we'll first go from the corners and we'll go inward, and then we'll do these pieces. They are called pawns, but these pieces are called rooks, and they can go in any direction as far as they want to, but they can't jump over pieces. They can also capture when they hit a piece. They capture it. So, like if you moved here, which is not a good move, but anyway, do that. And once you get your rook out there, then yeah, he can do that. He doesn't have to though. He can do this, but if he does that, then he can go in any one of these squares in his next turn. Yeah, so that's the rook. The next that come in line here, I guess, is the the knights. And the knights, they go 2 squares and then 1 square, and they can jump over pieces. That's one of their special things that they can do. So this knight could go 1, 2, and go there. 1, 2, and then go there. So that knight can do at the beginning of his turn. 1, 2, and then go there. 1, 2, and then go there. Those are what the knights can do at the beginning of their turn. But let's say this goes on, and then we go here. Here, this knight can go here, because 1, 2 here, 1, 2 here, 1, 2 here, and capture this pawn. 1 here, there, capture that pawn. 1, 2 here, capture, go right there. 1, 2 here, 1, 2 here, 1, 2 here. You cannot kill your own pieces, by the way, in chess. That just wouldn't work out. There. And so you have 2 knights then. And then bishops. These are called bishops. They're worth 3 points. Sorry, did I tell you the rooks were worth 5 points? And the knights are worth 3 points. I don't know if I told you that or not, but that's what they are. And then bishops are worth 3 points too. And if we just get these pawns out of the way, bishops can go diagonally as far as they want to. So this bishop could go here. This bishop could go like here. But this bishop can only stay on this color, and this bishop can only stay on this color. You can't get it to that color. That would be impossible. So those are bishops. They work together very well, but alone not as much. And the next here is the queen. The queen is worth 9 points, and she is basically like a rook and a bishop put together. So, but it's a bishop and a knight, a bishop and a rook would be 8 points, not 9 points. So, where does that extra point come in? Well, the queen can go, so let's say we move these 2 squares. The queen can go be like both bishops, but not at the same time. So as you can see, she's moving like a rook first, and can move like that, like a bishop, but can also go here and then move like this kind of bishop. So that's what the queen can do, and she's worth 9 points. The next is the king, and the king is worth the game points. If he dies, you lose the game. So, if we get this out of the way, the king can go 1 square at a time. If you lose him, you lose the game, so usually you're not going to want to do what I just did here and get your king out like this, because if you bring him into battle, he can't do much. He can't run away that easily, and he can't attack that fast. And if you lose him, he's gonna die. You're gonna lose the game. So usually you want to keep him hidden and protected, because he's basically your game. All of the pieces of the board circle around the king. And the next piece that we have here are the pawns, and the pawns are the most complicated to understand. So if you don't understand them, that's okay. You can just watch this video a few more times if you want. If you still don't get it, you can watch a different video from a different person. But I don't know how good I'm going to be able to explain this because they're very complicated. But what they do is they basically go one square at a time. So they can only go one square at a time. The thing is, though, you kind of saw that this was letting me do 2 squares. Well, when you're on this row, your starting point, so you have not moved your pawn yet, he can go 2 squares. He doesn't have to go 2 squares, but he can go 2 squares. And if he goes 2 squares, yeah, that's fine. But then after that, he can't go 2 squares again. He can't go right there. So he can only go 2 squares when he's on his starting point. So that's one of the things. Another thing is, after you saw these 2 pieces, this actually cannot kill here. The pawns cannot kill ahead, like all the other pieces can. They cannot kill when they land on something. They can actually only kill this way. They cannot move that way, as you can see. But if, say we do this, and then that, he can attack this way and capture that pawn. So that's kind of complicated, as you can already see, but I'm not done yet. There's another thing about the pawn called en passant. So if you move here, if you fold the board in half right here, not this way, but this way, and then one row ahead of that, so this square for us, and for our opponent, it's this square. If your pawn reaches that square, so he can't go there on his first turn, but if he reaches that square, so after something like this, so now I'm on the square. Now, if I don't move from here, if my opponent moves 2 squares, so he's right next to me, I can do something called en passant and go behind him and capture him. As you can see, he just disappeared. I can do this on both sides with any of my pawns, but so you basically go behind it and capture it. But you can only do it after he goes 2 squares and right after he goes 2 squares. So after he goes 2 squares and he ends up right next to me, and I do something like this, and then he does something like this. Now I cannot capture en passant. I have to do it right after he does that. So it's really complicated. En passant is really complicated, and all of the things that the pawn can do is very complicated because they're unlike any other piece. That is the pawn. So I hope you understood that, and I hope you liked this video, and I hope you learned a lot, and thank you for watching this video, and please remember to subscribe.